Hello and welcome to New Mexico History. My name is Brandon Morgan and I'm the instructor for this class. I've also posted an intro video in the discussion board, the intro discussion board, and you can find more information about me over here in the instructor information tab. That's where all of my contact information, expectations in terms of how quickly I will return emails and communications like that, the late policy, and all of those kinds of things are laid out in the instructor information tab. They're also contained in the syllabus, but please do note that you can get them quickly there. I've made this screencast video to introduce the course to you, to help you understand how I've constructed it so that you can more easily navigate it and make sure that you're completing all of the work that you need to complete each week. So with that in mind, let me show you a few things. Of course, this is the landing page. If you scroll down, you'll have a link to announcements and grades. You can also go directly to Twitter from this landing page. That will open twitter.com in another tab or another window in your browser at the course hashtag so that you can see what people are saying with their reading tweets assignments. You probably have already clicked start here if you're watching this video. I will be replacing the video that's currently embedded here with the one that I'm now recording. So I may or may not leave the link to that article here because it's also available for you in the Unit 1 module. And that's where we'll really think about what historical thinking means in terms of the practices and habits of mind that we need to have as historians to investigate the past and understand it. Please do click on the Start Here module. I'm not going to do it now, but the information contained in there is reference type information. There are some tutorials for the different digital tools that we'll be using in class in the Start Here module. But I want you to know that there are resources there for you, including a browser check, kind of the technical side of things for Blackboard from CNM. There's also a post from our Dean of Students about how to maintain academic integrity, i.e. avoid plagiarism. All of that's there, so please do look through it. As far as getting the coursework done, though, you will need to keep tabs on the learning modules and the syllabus. Of course, the syllabus can be found in the syllabus tab, which is the next thing in line. So you can go here to access the syllabus. There are also quick links to the discussion board requirements and the journal instructions here. Something about my classes, one of the reasons that I do these introductions to the course, is that there are numerous ways of achieving the same thing within the course, as is the case with so much tech. So you can get to the discussion board requirements and the journal instructions through the syllabus. I've embedded links to every assignment in the syllabus itself so that you can just click right on it and get the detailed instructions for whichever assignment you're looking at. You can also go to the reading tweets, the timeline, the journals tab, and the final project tab, as well as the extra credit film review tab to get that same information. And these are the places where the submission links for each of those assignments are, with the exception of reading tweets. And as you read through that, you'll understand you're going to post everything on Twitter using our course hashtag. Let's see, the course schedule is also in the syllabus. This is just a quick reference way for you to get to it. And then if you use the Blackboard calendar, there's a link to it here. So again, please read through and make sure you understand the syllabus well, and then use the learning modules. I'm going to click and open that now to ensure that you complete all of the assignments. So this is the schedule of the course. It'll walk you through what you need to do during each unit. So please do notice that each of the units in our course takes up a 2-week time frame. There are different due dates throughout each unit. I'm not going to click on Unit 1. That is where you will start. But the assignments there are somewhat unique. And I'll be posting another intro video within the first page of that to kind of explain that. But units 2 through 6 follow the same pattern. They cover, of course, different topics and have different reading assignments, but the assignments themselves that you need to complete will follow the same pattern. So let me show you one of those, because this is what you'll be doing most of the time during this semester with our time together in this class. So each unit has an intro and objectives section. So when you first click on it, this is what will pop up. It includes a brief synopsis of the historical events that we will be learning about in that unit. And then it includes a checklist of the assignments that you need to complete. I didn't actually put check boxes there, but this is the checklist of what you need to complete and by when. So each unit is divided into 2 weeks, as I mentioned. During the first week, and then by the first Sunday of the unit at midnight, you complete your readings, you complete your reading tweets, and you claim your topic for the timeline assignment. That will all become apparent as you read through the syllabus and read through all of those assignment instructions. Then during the second week, what you'll do is by the Wednesday of that week, you will complete the identification step for the timeline assignment. And then by the second Sunday, the last day of the unit, by midnight, you will complete the connection step and the journal entry. So of course, you can turn anything in at any time. Those are just the due dates for each. And after the due dates is when I will score those and provide feedback to you. I've also given you reminders that you'll need to do some work on the discussion board that's due mid-March, and then toward the end of the term, there are 2 separate discussion assignments. That's all laid out in the discussion board instructions and guidelines. And then each unit introduction includes the objectives and the number of points that you can earn in that particular unit. I've also embedded introduction videos that go over some of the main themes in terms of the content in that unit that we'll be talking about. And as you can see, they're old. No facial hair. I wasn't shaving my head then. I need to update those videos a bit. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do that sometime soon. Scrolling back up, there are 2 different ways to navigate the learning modules. You can either get to the next step by clicking this arrow, or you can use the table of contents, and that allows you to jump ahead. I'm just going to go through this in order. So the next thing in each of these units in the learning modules will be the readings. During the first couple of units, there are embedded PDFs to the e-text. Because there is still no way for you to purchase that using financial aid, I do apologize for that. I keep trying to fix that issue or push to fix that issue, but I'm not the one that can do anything about it. So hopefully soon that will be resolved. But if you're in the situation where you can't purchase the text yet, you need a couple of weeks to do that, you'll be able to access those readings using these little links. There are also 2 other assigned. This time around, they're not just readings, but the Chaco Canyon Exploratorium is kind of a virtual interactive Oñate's Foot. You could read through the transcript, but it's a podcast, so you can either listen to it or read through the information there. And then there are optional materials if you're able to get to those. The questions to consider are in each reading section in each unit. There is no assignment connected to those. You don't have to write those down, write the answers, but those are to guide your reading. So these are things that you might want to keep in mind as you complete the reading and as you post your ideas to Twitter. I use the table of contents instead of the arrow to go to the next one. Each unit contains a series of film clips. They vary in length depending on what's available for the particular topics that we're covering in that unit. But as I've noted in this little paragraph, it's okay if you don't watch all of these. They're meant to be a supplement to help give you another perspective, another way of understanding the things that we were reading about. But again, if you don't get to all of them, it's quite all right. But you can watch these, and these are things that you can use as evidence and information when completing your tweets, your timeline, and other assignments in your journals. This unit contains an extra FYI section about the Idle No More movement. Since we're talking about First Peoples, that's something you can check out if you are interested. And then each unit will contain this little reminder to complete your reading tweets. So once you've done the reading, you can click this to go out to Twitter, to the course hashtag, as is outlined here. And also if you click over to the reading tweets, you can get the full assignment instructions there. Basically what you're doing is posting 10 comments on the readings with the reading tweets assignments, things that you found interesting, significant, and try to be as specific as you can. Explain why the things that you bring up in your tweets stood out to you and why you think they're important. So 10 that remark on those kinds of things based on the readings and the videos, and then 5 more that are replies to classmates or to me. So a total of at least 15 in each unit. Of course, Twitter doesn't allow much space, so you may end up posting more, and that's always just fine. The timeline submissions, again, read through all of the information. One tab you do need to go to is the timeline tab, and you will be directed there at the end of Unit 1 to make sure that you understand this assignment before we get to Unit 2. So Unit 2 is the first time you'll actually complete the timeline assignment. Here's another link to the instructions if you need them. If you click to launch, I'm going to click this one. This will take you to the area where you can submit first your ID step. That's due the second Wednesday, remember, and then your connection step. That's due the second Sunday of the unit. So that's a quick way to get to those submission areas. As I mentioned a minute ago, though, clicking on the timeline tab, there are numerous ways to do everything in this course. So you can get to the same place that we were just at by clicking on the timeline tab. And you might want to do that if you were working through the learning module, but then you closed it so that you could go and start working on the timeline assignment. You were writing, you were elsewhere, and then you come back into Blackboard and you don't want to go through the learning module, you just want to go straight to submit your work. You will scroll down to the bottom here, find the folder for the appropriate unit. Unit 2 is the one I just showed you, and this should look familiar. This is the thing that you were linked to from the learning module. There's a text from my wife. I'm not sure if that'll show up, but that's all right. Mark is red. Okay, so let's see. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So that's, again, a different way to get there. Clicking back on timeline, just to show you what's here, since I've been emphasizing how important this one is. This takes you to the timeline itself on Tiki-Taki, where you will complete part of your work. You'll have to submit entries to Blackboard and the same entry to Tiki-Taki. So it's the same entry, but you have to submit it both places. Timeline assignment instructions, again here, also in the syllabus. Please look at this tutorial. This explains how to use Tiki-Taki, how to submit your work there. Also, please take note of the thing I wrote here. This video was for one of my intercession classes. They use different login information for their timeline. So please don't use the login information that shows up on the video, but use the information here in the timeline assignment instructions that are specifically for our class. This gives you a little more of some background and ideas about what types of content, what types of thinking and approaches you should take to the timeline assignments in terms of the actual history, how you're studying the history, what you're writing about it. And then this one explains historical significance a little more. So please do take the time to look at those. And then again, here are the submission links. So I spent more time than I'll spend on any of the other assignments with that one. But again, the timeline's kind of the center of our class. That's what we're doing week in, week out, along with the reading tweets to get into the reading and to talk about the history of New Mexico. Going back into the Unit 2 module, just to show you the end of it. Once it loads, of course. So we left off with the timeline submissions. I'm going to click on Unit 2 Journal. Each of these will have a link to where you will submit your journal assignment. You can either write those in the text box right here in Blackboard. Once you click it to launch it, you can get those, of course, over here as well. Once you click to launch, there will be a link to the journal instructions. Remember, those are also available in the syllabus and in the syllabus tab. So again, that's where you'll submit that. As I mentioned, you can write it right in the box, or you can attach a file. Either way is fine. And then the final thing in each learning module is this self-assessment and looking ahead. So what this does is it gives you the list of everything you should have done in that 2-week period to have completed the work for that unit. And then it reminds you of things that are coming up. So there are a few things that we have coming due that are not part of the regular learning module. Those include those discussion board assignments that I mentioned. Also include the steps for the final project. So that's something that you can read more about via the syllabus and this final project tab. You'll do that in 3 parts. You'll choose a topic, you'll complete a bibliography, and then you'll submit your work. And so this reminds you of those due dates so that you can keep that in mind and make sure that you don't miss anything. Okay, I think that is everything I really wanted to cover. You can, of course, use the online office hours. My office hours are Monday mornings. I found people don't generally use the online office hours. I am pretty readily available through text, email, and Twitter. I try to get back as quickly as I can in all of those ways. Use whatever is most comfortable for you. We do have Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, which is a screen sharing audio-video kind of platform. So when you go to online office hours, it's a way that we can talk to each other and see each other and share screens and that sort of thing. So if that's something you need and you're not available during my regularly scheduled office hours on Monday mornings, let me know and we can set up a separate time. We can use this to talk. Let's see. I think everything else is fairly explanatory. Do take advantage of the help links and resources as they might be useful for you. Embanet is the kind of technical support for Blackboard, so that's a good thing to know about just in case. Hopefully there won't be any problems. All right, so that was a little long-winded. Please let me know what questions you have as we go along, and I look forward to studying New Mexico's past with you this semester.